Hey, I'm Shweta Simar from New Delhi and you're watching Millennium News Channel 24. Today I'm bringing you the latest updates from around the world. Today's breaking news are scores killed in southeast Spain as flash floods sweep away walls and cars. Israel's strike on Iran broke a 40-year taboo. Tehran faces tough choices about what to do next. German, Iranian national and longtime US resident executed in Iran. North Korea likely to ask for nuclear technology from Russia in exchange for troops, South Korea says. Up to 35 ISIS operatives killed in US strikes, US military says. More than 250,000 Washington Post readers cancel subscription in revolt over non-endorsement. Britain targets the wealthy as it hikes taxes by $52 billion. TikTok's founder is now China's richest person, but the country's total number of billionaires has shrunk. H5N1 bird flu identified in pigs for the first time in the United States. Canada alleges Indian minister behind plot to target Sikh separatists. China sends 3 astronauts to Tiangong space station in picture-perfect launch. Russia tests missile to stimulate massive response to nuclear attack. We'll be right back after a short break. Stay tuned for more updates. Welcome back after the break. I'm Shweta Simar and you're watching Millennium News of the Week update. Here's are the latest updates. At least 95 people have been killed by severe flash floods in Spain. Authorities said they are working to identify the victims. This comes after several locations in southeast Spain received up to 12 inches of rain, in which marked the worst rainfall in Valencia. According to the reports, the Valencia region was thrown into a state of chaos, with most highways becoming completely unusable on Thursday morning. Vehicles had been left abandoned and water moved around everywhere. It has created a havoc in the city. Iran rushed to downplay the impact of Israel's strike on its territory this weekend, suggesting that it has taken off-ramp to avoid a wider war, but the attack sets a precedent. Avoid since inception 40 years ago, the adversary had spent decades avoiding direct confrontation in a shadow war. Israel used clandestine operation to assassinate key Iranian figure Arab proxy militias to attack Jewish state. The long-standing balance of power prevented a regional war until Iran-backed Hamas attacked Israel from Gaza last year, killing 1,200 and 250 hostages. It destroyed the enclave and killed more than 42,000 Palestinians. The expansion of that conflict to southern Lebanon led to Israel's assassination of Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah. A German Iranian national and longtime US resident executed in Iran after being convicted of terrorism offenses, according to the Iran media. Jamshid Sheikh was executed in Monday morning for terrorist attacks. His execution sparked condemnation from United States and Germany. Following the news of this execution, German Foreign Minister Annalena said that the murder showed Tehran to be inhuman of regime. Execution would have been serious consequences Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas pushed back against the Germans, saying that the impunity to anyone, let alone the terrorist, is criminal. Germany and Iran summoned each other's diplomat on Tuesdays to protest against the respective concerns. North Korea is very likely to ask Moscow for advanced technology related to nuclear weapons in exchange for deploying troops to help Russia in its war against Ukraine. North Korea will likely request Russian technology transfers relating to tactical nuclear weapons, the advancement of North Korean intercontinental ballistic missiles, Rekhe satellites, and nuclear submarines, Kim said. The arrangement would mirror one Russia has with Iran, in which Moscow has been sharing technology on nuclear issues with Tehran in exchange for weapons and military support for the war in Ukraine, the White House said. Kim said that ultimately the troops will help Russia increase the possibility of war breaking out in the Korean Peninsula. South Korea has been raising alarms about North Korea's troop deployment to Russia for weeks and briefed NATO allies on the intelligence about the troop movement on Monday. A source familiar with the matter said the dramatically increased intelligence sharing with the alliance in recent weeks, as the concern have grown about the North Korean movements, has escalated really soon in coming times. Up to 35 ISIS operatives were killed in US strikes against multiple ISIS camps in Syria. US Central Command forces conducted a series of strikes against several known ISIS camps in Syria in the evening October 28. On posted X, the strikes targeted multiple ISIS locations in the Syrian desert. It is unclear if the targeted senior leaders were included in the 35 operatives killed. There are no indications of civilian casualties. Monday strikes are the latest in what appears to be an uptick of operations against ISIS in the Middle East. Dozens being killed. Asked this month if the seemingly increased operations translated to ISIS regrouping in the region, Deputy Pentagon said the footprints had separated and the resurgence only remains a threat. In August, 14 militants were killed in a joint US-Iraqi force raid. The joint US-Iraq raids after Iraq postponed announcing the end of the US-led military coalition presence. There are roughly 5,000, more than 250,000 Washington Post readers have cancelled their subscription since the newspaper announced last week it would not make an endorsement, leading to a huge spike in cancellation, the Post reportedly read. The endorsement decision, first announced on Friday by Post publisher Will Lewis, resulted in newspaper losing roughly 10% of digital subscribers. The announcement that the Post would break with the decades-long tradition and not endorse in the race coming less than 2 weeks before election day, readers immediately began to revolt over the move, with high-profile figures on social media. The Post reported it began seeing a surge in cancellation within hours of the announcement. 250,000 subscribers may not even hurt the pocket, but the readership gone for the Post, certainly for the time being, and maybe many years, will affect. The United Kingdom is raising taxes by an eye-watering 40 billion as the government seeks to plug a hole in the finances by targeting higher earners, wealthy foreigners and businesses. UK Finance Minister, the first woman to ever hold the position, unveiled the tax hike on Wednesday. Before its election victory, Reeves' Labour Party had pledged to keep taxes on working people as low as possible, promising to not raise income tax, sales tax or payroll taxes. On Wednesday, the government targeted higher earners instead, announcing plans to tax inherited pensions and unveiling increasing to capital gain tax, which was paid on the profits made when selling investment properties and financial assets. The change is a blow for investors. It also makes investment less attractive for the newcomers. China has a new richest person, and it's the entrepreneur behind the widely popular and controversial app TikTok. Zhang Yiming, 41 years old, co-founder of TikTok parent company ByteDance, topped the 224 Huron China list with $49 billion of profits, which publishes the ranking of country's richest person since its official launch in 2017. TikTok has been catapulted to mass global popularity. It is beloved by many young people around the world and a trailblazing example for other Chinese companies eager to break into US and global markets. But it's also now facing mounting legal battles in US, where according to Hurun, it has nearly 200 million subscribers. H5N1 bird flu has been identified in a pig in the United States for the first time, the United States Department of Agriculture said Wednesday. USDA and Oregon veterinary officials are investigating the bird flu cases in the backyard farming operations. The livestock and poultry on this farm shared water sources, housing, and equipment in other states. This combination has enabled transmission between species, it is said in a news release. H5N1 is a type of influenza that is rare in humans but is highly contagious and deadly in various species of animals like cattle, pigs, etc. The virus preys on people too. Scientists have been concerned about H5N1 might spread to pigs, which are considered mixing bowl species for flu viruses because they carry the same kind of receptors on cells in their lungs as humans and birds. Some flu infections in pigs are allowed and are rapidly. The pandemic is believed to have sparked the virus is mutated in pigs, which started back in Mexico. The Canadian government has publicly alleged that India's Home Affairs Minister Amit Shah, the Prime Minister Modi's closest political ally, was behind a recent series of plots to murder and intimidate 6 separatists on Canadian soil. Testifying before a parliamentary committee, the Canadian Deputy Foreign Minister David Morrison acknowledged he had leaked information to the Washington Post about Shah's alleged role in a campaign of violence and threats against the Sikh diaspora over the last few years. Morrison confirmed he had given the information to the newspaper, which then published a story last month naming Shah. The journalist called me and asked if it Shah was that person. I confirmed it was that person, he said. He gave no further details on how Canadian officials had linked Shah to the investigation. The Indian government had not yet responded to the specific naming of Shah, who is number 2 in Modi's government. So far, Canada has arrested 3 Indian citizens it alleges were part of the hit squad that shot and killed Najjar. The accusations have tested Washington and Ottawa's relation with India, a country often viewed by the West as counterbalance to China and a growing economic powerhouse. China launched 3 astronauts, including a woman, into space early on Wednesday for a 6-month mission to the Tiangong space station as part of Asia's giant ambitious space program. This is country's 14th crewed space mission. The Shenzhou 19 spaceship took off at 4:27 from the launch site in Mongolia, Jiangsu province, using Long March 2F rocket. The crew consists of Commander Kai and other participants. Shenzhou 14 missions and 2 rookie astronauts Song and Wang, with China's 3rd female astronaut. During their stay, the astronauts will perform various tasks, including installing protective devices against space debris, managing stations operation, and conducting spacewalks. The crew is expected to return to Earth on May 2025, concluding a mission that will further advance China's space program and contribute to scientific knowledge through the various experiments planned during their stay on the Tiangong station. On October 29, following orders from President Vladimir Putin, Russia commenced nuclear drills stimulating a retaliatory strike. These exercises included testing a Yars intercontinental ballistic missile from the launch pad on the Kamchatka Peninsula. The missiles were launched from the submarines. Additionally, the Russian military conducted practice launches of long-range cruise missiles from nuclear-capable Tu-95 strategic bombers. This is the second such military exercise. Indicated West-led NATO alliance is still unsure of how to deal with the escalating situation with US and Russia attacking Ukraine. Putin, however, said that we are not going to get involved in a new arms race, but we will maintain nuclear forces at the level of necessary sufficiency. That's all for now. Thank you for tuning in. Stay with us for more updates. Log in to get the latest news on our social media networking sites: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, on Millennium News 20, also on our YouTube channel Millennium News 24. Viewers now both network broadcasting Android and iOS devices, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon TV. Enjoy our entertainment and latest news. Our Millennium TV apps: Millennium TV US, Android, Millennium News, Google, www.millenniumtv.com. Stay with us, Millennium TV. Thank you.